Hey there, and welcome. If you've ever been in your home kitchen baking up a storm and had that little thought, I could probably sell this, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to turn that passion into a real plan.
I mean, it's a dream a lot of us have, right? Picturing your cookies or your jams or your fresh-baked bread bringing a smile to someone's face at a local farmer's market. It might feel like this huge, scary leap, but trust me, it's way more achievable than you might think.
So we're going to break it all down into clear, manageable steps. We are covering everything from the legal stuff all the way to what actually sells, so you can walk away from this feeling confident and ready to get started. And hey, before we dive into the details, if turning your passion for home baking into a real business sounds exciting, do me a favor and take a quick moment to subscribe to the Cottage Food's Laws YouTube channel. We are all about the business of selling food from home, and you won't want to miss a thing.
Okay, let's dive in. The very first step, before you even think about preheating the oven, is building a solid legal foundation for your business. This is the part you absolutely positively cannot skip.
So what are we even talking about here? The term you need to know is cottage food. This basically just refers to foods made in a home kitchen that are sold on a small scale. Think of things that are shelf-stable and don't need refrigeration. Cookies, breads, popcorn, jellies. They're considered low risk, which is why they get their own special set of rules.
And this is so crucial. Every single state has different rules. You have to become an expert on your local cottage food law. So you need to ask yourself these 4 questions. What can I legally sell? Where am I allowed to sell it? Is there a cap on how much money I can make per year? And finally, what kind of permit or registration do I actually need?
And please, don't take this lightly. Showing up without the right paperwork is the absolute fastest way to get shut down by a market manager. This is all about being professional and protecting your new business right from the get-go.
All right, so once you've sorted out all the legal stuff, we get to the really fun part: your product, your pricing, and your pitch. This is where your creativity truly gets to shine.
So what actually sells? Well, market shoppers love fresh, homemade classics. Things like cookies, brownies, and mini loaves are always a hit. But here's a little pro tip. Simple foods with a unique twist often outsell complicated ones. Think a classic brownie with a salted caramel swirl. Oh, and consider having one unique offering, like a fantastic gluten-free cookie to attract customers with dietary needs who are often totally underserved.
Now let's break down pricing, because it is not just about the cost of flour and sugar. You have to account for everything: your ingredients, your packaging, your time, and even a little piece of the market fee. In this example, if your total cost is $2, a price of $5 or $6 isn't greedy. That's what makes your business sustainable. Also, think about bundle deals. 3 cookies for $5 often sells much better than 1 for $2.
You see, pricing is a really delicate balance. If you go too cheap, people might subconsciously think your product is low quality. But if you price too high, you'll slow down your sales and customers might hesitate. The goal is to find that sweet spot where people feel like they're getting great value for a high-quality, homemade product.
And finally, your pitch includes your packaging. Every single item needs a label that meets your state's legal requirements. This almost always includes the product name, your business details, a full ingredient list, clear allergen warnings, and often a specific made-in-a-home kitchen disclaimer. This is not optional. It is a legal must-do.
All right, you've done the prep work, the car is packed, the sun is rising, and it's finally market day. Let's talk about how to make it a huge success.
Just remember this. People decide whether to stop at your booth in a split second. Before they even taste your product, they're tasting your setup with their eyes. Your presentation is your most important sales tool.
And here's what that looks like in practice. It's not about being fancy. It's about being professional. We're talking clean tablecloths, clear prices, an attractive product display, and a sign with your business name. A tidy, organized booth builds instant trust.
Once you're there, remember, you're a guest at that market. You have to follow their specific rules. This often means keeping all food covered, not offering samples unless it's explicitly allowed, and handling food and money safely and separately. Respecting the rules keeps you in good standing with the market manager and other vendors.
This might be the most important tip of all. Don't just stand behind your table. Smile, make eye contact, and be ready to share. What makes your grandma's cookie recipe so special? Why did you start this business? That personal connection is your superpower. It's what turns a passerby into a loyal customer. So the market day is over, but your work isn't done. The smartest sellers know that the real growth happens after you pack up and go home. It's all about learning from the day. You have to create a feedback loop for yourself. As soon as you get home, take notes. What sold out first? What did you have a lot of left over? Use that data. Maybe you need to bake more mini loaves and fewer brownies next time. This process is how you stop guessing and start making strategic decisions that increase your profit.
And eventually, you might run into a wonderful problem. You're selling so much that you're getting close to your state's annual sales limit. Don't panic. This is a huge sign of success. It means your business is working, and it's time to start researching the next step, which could be moving into a commercial kitchen.
So to wrap it all up, let's remember why we're focusing on farmers markets. They are the perfect incubator for a new food business. The cost to get started is low, customers arrive ready to trust and support local makers, you get immediate feedback on your products, and it's an incredible way to build your confidence as an entrepreneur.
So, after all of this, the path is clear. Your first market day is not some far-off dream. It's just a few practical steps away. The only question left is, what amazing creation are you going to share with your community?